The thing I hate most about Liquid Death is that I didn't come up with it first. Because let's be honest, this skull is cool. It draws you in and makes you want to know more about what's inside the can. But what is Liquid Death? Liquid Death is a beverage company, or more specifically, a water company. They've built their entire empire, brand, and business on just three things: H, 2, and O. Launched in 2019 by founder Mike Cesario, Liquid Death has become one of the fastest growing non-alcoholic beverages of all time, with a recent valuation of $700 million. But how do you go from zero to almost $1 billion selling canned water? It sounds absurd, like a product the Shark Tank judges would hate and laugh you off the stage for. This is the impossible success story of Liquid Death, a product and company that shouldn't exist but does, earning the brand a slew of diehard supporters and diehard haters. But before we go any further, a word from the sponsor of this segment of today's video, Stash. Stash is a personal finance app that makes it easy and affordable to start investing. Stocks can be complicated and expensive, but with Stash, you don't need a lot of money to start investing. Stash has two plans starting at $3 a month or $9 a month that help you to start investing and save like a pro. I recently started using Stash to help me invest because honestly, I don't have the time or willpower to devote to researching the stock market for hours a day. One thing I've liked about using Stash is that the app allows you to invest in fractional shares, which are pieces of stocks that are more affordable to invest in than full shares. I've learned a ton about stocks and ETFs using Stash's Learn page, which comes equipped with an arsenal of educational tools about investing. And if you want to spend even less time on the app, you can have Stash automatically invest for you using Smart Portfolio. Based on your risk profile, Stash will do all of the work and create a diversified portfolio for you. So if you want to join the 6 million plus people who know it's never too early to invest in yourself, click the link below. Stash is also giving a special offer to my viewers. Once you open a personal portfolio with Stash and deposit at least $5, Stash will give you a bonus $25 into your account to start investing. Click the link in the video description to get started. Thank you to Stash for sponsoring this portion of the video. Ever since I first saw Liquid Death, I thought, dang, why didn't I think of that? It's such a genius and simple concept. Murder your thirst. Liquid Death's founder, Mike Cesario, came up with the idea by using two of the most underutilized tools in business: creativity and imagination. Before founding Liquid Death, Mike worked as a creative director for an advertising agency called Donor LA, where he spent his time creating promo videos for Netflix, including viral teasers of House of Cards and Stranger Things. But Mike's idea for Liquid Death came long before working for any brand or advertising agency. It came from the place you'd least expect: the Vans Warped Tour. Warped Tour 2008, according to Mike. While attending the festival, he noticed that every band during their set was chugging Monster Energy, an event sponsor, in the dead heat of summer. Mike began wondering how band members did this without passing away from dehydration and heat exhaustion. But then he noticed something else. Taking a closer look at the can, right under the word Monster, instead of Monster Energy, it read Monster Tour Water. This tiny detail planted a seed in his mind and continued to grow from that moment on. I remember thinking, oh, that's pretty messed up, says Mike in an interview with INC.com. Every band drinks water, so why wouldn't you have a water that from a brand standpoint is actually cool? Over a decade since his realization at Warped Tour, and with many years of advertising experience under his belt, Mike thought to himself, why didn't water have fun, memorable marketing that made people feel cool when they drank it? He noticed that most of his favorite commercials were for junk food, and that water companies all had the same boring approach to marketing. But what if water could be cool? So he started sharing his idea with friends, family, and potential investors, and they all loved it, all except for the potential investors. They told him something like that could never work, laughed him out of the room, and gave him $0. Undeterred, Mike pressed on and went about bringing Liquid Death to life with a more organic, grassroots approach. Without a budget for marketing, he had to do things as cheap as possible. So he started by going on a website like Fiverr and commissioning a graphic designer to design a 3D render of the can that he could use for marketing. Then he called up his friend who made commercials and asked for a small favor. With a short, simple commercial and a picture of the product, he created a Facebook page for Liquid Death. Spending a little money on Facebook ads to get his commercial out there, he crossed his fingers and put his trust in the people to do the rest. At this time, he had zero product and $0 to make any product. All he had was faith that it was a good idea. But as soon as people saw it, they began sharing it with their friends, and the video spread like a disease. It went viral. Within months, it racked up millions of views on Facebook, and on YouTube alone, it has over 4 million views. And the Liquid Death Facebook page racked up more followers/likes than the Aquafina page. People began asking, where can you buy Liquid Death? And without any product, the answer was nowhere. However, thanks to the attention from his viral commercial, Mike now had people chomping at the bit to work with him. His problem went from having no money to whose money should he work with. In total, Mike raised over $1.6 million in seed funding, adding on big-name investors like Twitter co-founder Biz Stone. According to INC.com, he found his water supplier in Austria by searching on Google, and when Mike learned that the supplier had been using its mountain water to produce energy drinks, it almost seemed too perfect. In January 2019, 2 years after launching Liquid Death the brand, Mike launched Liquid Death the product. And so it began. Murder your thirst. According to research done by data analytics firm IRI for Liquid Death, 231 brands of various types have launched since 2019. Liquid Death is the #1 seller among them all. Liquid Death owes all of their success to marketing, and how could they not? They're selling canned water. No one's buying Liquid Death because it's the best priced, best tasting water on the market. How many people who claim to be a diehard Jack Daniels person could pick out Jack Daniels in a blind taste testing? Nobody. It's all a brand. Since their launch in 2019, Liquid Death has gone on a brand-building rampage, murdering millions of thirsts and creating brand customers for life. They're sold in 60,000 stores, have over 4 million followers on Instagram and TikTok, and last year did $3 million on merch and apparel. A water brand selling millions of dollars worth of clothing. After launching their first product, Mountain Water, they followed it up with Sparkling Mountain Water in 2020. And last year, in 2022, they added 3 flavored sparkling waters to the mix: Severed Lime, Mango Chainsaw, and Bury It Alive. They also have an iced tea variety coming out sometime this year. Up until this point, I've spoken very positively of Liquid Death, because truth be told, I like it. I think it's cool. But not everyone feels that way. That's right, Liquid Death has haters. So why do people hate Liquid Death? Liquid Death's approach to marketing water is new, and I believe that has a lot to do with why some people dislike it. There's never been a cool water brand before, and I think it's fair to wonder if a cool water should even exist in the first place. What's the point? Because people tend to understand branding and the value it plays in clothing, for example, but less when it comes to beverages. I believe some people see Liquid Death the same way they see Supreme: overrated, overhyped, and not worth buying into. But when Liquid Death crosses paths with the right crowd, it creates brand customers for life, because they're masters at giving people what they want over and over again in new and interesting ways. And people who love Liquid Death, I think, are in on the joke. Not the jokes and the funny commercials they put out, but the joke that Liquid Death is just a brand, and that you're clearly buying it just for the brand. I mean, I can go to Walmart and pick up their store brand sparkling water for less money, but I buy Liquid Death because there's a skull on it that I think looks cool. Liquid Death as a brand feels like one individual person released their passion project into the world. And to tell you the truth, I think that's the real reason I drink Liquid Death. I love how I can feel Mike's personality and passion shining through in everything the brand does, because it's rare to see a company as big as Liquid Death not feel soulless and corporate, and I think that also throws people off. 6 months after launching, Liquid Death already had a high-profile enemy plotting against them. None other than The New Yorker posted an article titled "Liquid Death and the Nonsense of Packaged Water." It essentially attacked Liquid Death for promoting the sustainability of its product, and stated that the costs for mining and processing aluminum are considerable. But of course, all this article did was help more people discover Liquid Death. I love how they leverage everything they can, even hate comments. On social media, Liquid Death receives lots of hate comments. So many that they made a metal album made with lyrics of only hate comments, and they even released it on vinyl. A while ago, someone posted a petition saying you shouldn't drink Liquid Death because there are multiple studies that prove and show that our words, thoughts, and intentions are powerful enough to change the molecular structure of water. And of course, they posted this all over their social media accounts. Mike and his team love any type of controversy. It's their bread and butter for creating viral marketing campaigns, which they use to dominate social media. I have 2 questions for you. Number 1, is it dumb to buy into a product? And number 2, why do we consume what we consume? Liquid Death as a product is an in-depth study of both of these questions, and I believe it perfectly answers both of these questions. If you enjoy a product and think it's great and brings you happiness, then I think the answer is no. I don't think it's dumb to buy into a product. But Liquid Death makes us stare at this concept straight in the face and makes us decide for ourselves by selling a product as simple as water. Then we can decide for ourselves how much value that brings to us and go from there. It forces us to realize that much of what we consume is just due to clever marketing tactics from huge corporations. Liquid Death is transparent about this. They're marketing right to your face and they're selling you plain water. It makes you confront an uncomfortable truth that I think most of us already know but are avoiding. And that is that we have no control. We think we do, but we don't. Our purchasing decisions are 100% based on how much money a company wants to spend on marketing that month. But I'm also trying to say that I don't think that's a bad thing. I just think it's worth discussing. But what do you think? Do you love Liquid Death? Do you hate Liquid Death? And where do you think they'll be 10 years from now? Let me know down in the comments below. Thank you for watching.